Okay, this is Ben Furuki for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm here with the one and only Stefy Bull. Stefy, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm really good. Enjoying being down here at your gym.
Yes, we've had a good morning, afternoon kind of thing. Yeah, it's been very well attended, so I'm chuffed.
We saw Terry Harper, Anthony Tomlinson and Dave Allen all working out there. Talk to me a bit about how Terry's training camp's going first.
Well, we've had a fantastic camp, to be fair. I mean, we've been in all Christmas and New Year. We knew about the fight soon she got out the ring on November the 2nd, so I gave her 1 week off. She had an holiday and then literally straight back in the gym. So yeah, we've done a few things different this time. What we've done, we've added a lot more sparring, a lot more female sparring. Terry's that good of a fighter. We normally work with some of the boys in the gym, but I wanted to do something slightly different. And I think Terry's really, it's brung her on confident-wise, sparring with women a lot more often, and especially the GB girls, and Terry's been doing very well. So yeah, we've done a lot more rounds than we would know what I have done in the past, and it's definitely brung Terry on load. She's full of confidence, and she's got an opportunity on 8th of November to be making a lot of history, being South Yorkshire's first ever female professional fighter, to have the opportunity to become the first WBC female champion from Britain is massive, and it's one of them occasions that probably will be talked about in many years to come, getting the win, which I'm more than confident she will.
Terry seems like a very confident girl. She seems very focused. How well do you think she'll cope with the pressure of performing on such a stage?
Well, I think a few things have gone unnoticed. This is Terry's 10th fight, and even though it's a 10th fight, it's only a second fight as a matchroom fighter. She's actually boxed on another four or five matchroom shows. So half of the fights through her career have been on a Kelbrook card, Nottingham Next Gen card, a Manchester Arena. So even though she's only had 9 fights, this is the 10th, she's been in and around these big nights now without people realising for the last 12 months. She's in the gym alongside other fighters who've been world class, like Gavin and Jamie McDonald, who are both training in here. So like it kind of rubs off, and it kind of rubs off to other fighters, and kind of success breeds success. But Terry takes everything in her stride. She's cool, calm, she's collected, and she's full of confidence. And I can't see anything that Eva can do that can beat Terry Harper. And I think Terry actually believes that now.
Am I right in thinking I heard another journalist saying that Eva was winning titles when Terry was just 2 years old?
Yeah, Eva was a top amateur. She's only lost 1 fight as a professional to Katie Taylor, the weight above, on points. So she's been WBC super featherweight champion for 5 years. That record in itself speaks for itself. She's 39-year-old, top amateur, very well established. I would go as far as saying she's definitely pound for pound one of the best leading female fighters in the world. I think she's got an official pound for pound ranking. So this is a massive gamble, massive step up, and something that I think Terry's more than capable. And on my social media I've been calling it graduation night, because I think this is the night that Terry really hits the masses. She's done massive tickets. There's going to be 5,000, 6,000 people in the arena. It's going to be a great night for South Yorkshire.
And what does it mean for Terry if she emerges victorious in February? What's the next step for her?
Well, it's massive, isn't it? I mean, Eddie's made no secret about taking us to America. You know, what a fight it would be if we could go to America at Madison Square Garden and defend against Heather Hardy, who's a big name over in America, former world champion. She's only lost one to pound for pound, arguably one of the best in Serrano. Serrano's probably most definitely top 4 pound for pound. She's only lost to her on points. So that would be a great fight if Terry's got a fight to win with probably going ahead, but Ewa Brodnicka, WBO champion from Poland. I would imagine that could be a fight to make. WBC, IBO, WBO titles. So I know Eddie's got very big plans for Terry. It's just a matter of getting the job done, I think, on 8th, and then, let's get to work, yeah.
What do you think? Obviously, women's boxing's grown massively in the past few years, especially with people like Katie Taylor and whatnot. But what do you think it's going to take it to the levels that we see in the UFC now?
Bigger names, more names. competitive fights. Terry's ninth fight, she were in with Vivian Obanoff. She were on her fifth fight. She were boxing Nina Bradley, who was undefeated Commonwealth champion. When she fought on the next gen card in Nottingham in a seventh fight, she was fighting a former two-time world champion who'd only got 7 defeats, never been stopped, and Terry went and stopped her. When she won the IBO against Nazebo, had only lost one fight, controversially, to Ewa Brodnik, who fought WBO world title. So when you put it down and really do strip it down and look at Terry's career, she's been fighting girls with winning records since her 4th fight, and that's what will make women's boxing, being in proper fights, being in competitive fights. But Terry's like, she's the real deal. She's the full package. She's very athletic. She's very dedicated. She puts bums on seats. She can box. She can punch. And whatever fights Terry will be in moving forward, I think there's going to be a lot of interest, because I think she's quite standout, very similar to Katie Taylor. But when you watch Terry Harper fight, there's eyes watching her. She's like, she can really fight. You know, so for women's boxing to progress, I just think competitive fights, more women fighters. I think more women now are turning professional and having the same ambition. And your likes of Katie Taylors and your Clarissa Shields and your Brackhouse and your Terry Harpers, just to name a few, some great fighters all around the world are really leading the way now and paving the way for other women to come through. So after the next Olympics, it's going to be very exciting, because there's some special fighters out there.
Certainly is. So would you say that investing in the grassroots for women boxing is imperative if we're going to see it grow to the levels? I think Katie Taylor's led the way. Matchroom have revolutionised women's boxing by giving Katie Taylor the opportunity. You've got Shannon Courtney, who's over in London, that's a lot of interest in, and it's become fashionable. I would never have dreamed of this. If you talked to me 3 years ago about women's boxing, I wouldn't have even been able to hold a conversation. Now, because of Terry, she's reignited my love and the passion for it, and I've become obsessed with women's boxing. There's not a woman at world level that I don't know about or I've not studied, and it's fantastic, and so like the wheels are changing, and that's because you like some Matchroom and your last Olympians and young girls now, and like we've got young girls in the gym, and many young girls, and like it's inspiring for them now to see women and doing good. There's some good women fighters out there that are doing very well, so it's exciting. I think in the next few years it won't be women's boxing or men's boxing. It's just going to be boxing, whether a woman's on a card or not. You'll probably see there'll be promoters out there who want to do all women cards and stuff, but maybe that's defeating the object. If you want to be alongside men, you know, I think it's working well. As it seems almost as if Matchroom are kind of putting a female on every card, if you've noticed, and they're getting a lot of attention. So yeah, the market's changing and people are interested in women's boxing, and why not? There's some very talented women out there that deserves an opportunity. Certainly is. Let's hope it grows. Moving on to Anthony Tomlinson. Would you say it's his biggest test to date in February?
100%. Stuart Burt, we've gave him a lot of respect. This is a proper fight. He's only lost one fight, which is avenged. He's the Scottish champion. He was a leading amateur in Scotland, very well experienced. He's had more fights than Anthony, done more rounds. It's a step up, but it's the kind of fight that I needed for Anthony. Anthony's 11-0 now. He's been on a good knockout ratio and he's not been getting the rounds which I would have liked to him. And I think him and Stuart's a proper 50-50, and I'm just hoping that the home crowd will urge Anthony on and see him through the fight. But like, Anthony's a proper fighting man, and it's one of them kind of fights. Anthony would happily fight anyone, and sometimes you have to hold him back because you need tests, and I think this is one of them tests that Anthony's got to show he can come through to go on to bigger, better fights.
What are your goals for Anthony in the next 12 months?
British and Commonwealth title fights and championship opportunities. This is a proper fight, and he's got to come through this, because, like, listen, Anthony only had 15 amateur fights, and he's only been a pro 3 years, then had 11 pro fights. He's still learning on the job, and he knows that. This is an hard fight, it's not easy, and it will give us a gauge of where Anthony's at in his career to move forward. You can't dream of your golden ticket Conor Benn fights and them kind of fights if you can't be beating Stuart Burt. And that is the truth of it. Anthony's in good shape. There should be no excuses. If you want to be fighting at the higher level, you've got to be beating your likes of Stuart Burts, and that's no disrespect for him. He's going to be thinking exactly the same with Anthony. So you can't look for golden ticket fights such as British and Commonwealth titles if you can't be beating this kind of level. It's that win this, you move on, and that's where you're at.
Are they the sort of names you'd be looking for if he comes through this in style? Conor Benn and
Anthony comes through. I'd love him to have a couple more 10-round fights, championship fights, get some rounds in, and definitely your likes of Conor Benns and your Johnny Gartons and your Jenkinsons. You've got to aspire to be in them. But like Anthony's a few fights away at the minute. I'm not screamed for them fights, not even pushed for them. This is a perfect fight. Anthony comes through. I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. We'll go one step ahead. You can't run before you can walk, kind of thing. And Anthony would happily have them fights tomorrow, but you've got to have realistic targets, and it needs to be coming through a test. And this is a test on 8th.
Fantastic. Moving away from your fighters, big fight we've got in February is Wilder Fury 2. Yes. Tell me who you see winning that fight and why.
I'm staying patriotic and loyal to Fury. He's British through and through. I think he's great for British boxing. I think he's going to be a better fighter, better shape than he was in past. We all know what Deontay brings. He brings nothing else but power and excitement. And I think that Fury can run him ragged, so that's what I'm hoping for.
Do you think there's anything else in Wilder's repertoire besides his right hand or his power that can do anything?
Not. He's erratic, he's freakish power, without a doubt. If he hits, it's good night. Is it Tyson once with his best shot and he come up and survive? I just hope that Tyson don't take that into being too confident. I think he's at his best when he's fiddling, messing about, playing mind games. He's a master of it. Stick to his boxing and look for a points win. If
Fury comes through and emerges victorious from that fight, do you think we'll ever see him face AJ?
I think so. I think it's got to happen. If he beats Wilder, it's got to happen. British public deserve it, and you can see that AJ wants it. It's all you see. There's a lot in there that goes on behind scenes and TV. They're on different channels and stuff. But listen, if he beats Wilder, boys, sit down. Promoters, sit down and make that fight happen. It's got to happen. British public need it. They need it.
Is Wembley big enough for that
fight? More than big enough, but it looks like all the money's in Saudi Arabia, doesn't it? There's talking 150 million. Do you go to Wembley for 50 or do you go to Saudi for 150 million? Listen, these boys are putting their life on line, risking all, and if they can go and grab 150 million, whether it be in Baghdad, Saudi Arabia, wherever in Philippines, they're just speaking, wherever the best money is, they go and grab it, boys, because it's a short life.
Do you get frustrated when you see people coming like, why are you going to Saudi? Why are you doing this when the money's involved?
Not at all. I mean, yeah, if it's in Britain, you're only getting 80,000 people going anyway, and it seems everybody wants to watch it. So everybody's going to be paying for it at home. So wherever, if you're in Jamaica, wherever you are on planet, even if you're on Moon, it's about the fight. The fight needs to happen, and I don't think it matters where it's at. I just think the fight needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was, do you get frustrated when you see people on social media commenting that why is it not happening?
The average Joe, isn't it? The average Joe's probably never put the hand in a pocket or even bought a ticket. They sit in a pub, they sit at the home front room and have an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but their opinion won't matter. It's about the promoters and it's about the fighters. They do what's best for them financially, for their careers, and that fight's definitely got to happen, and it won't bother me whether we're in this ring or at Moan. It's got to happen.
You mentioned buying tickets there. You're a promoter yourself and you put on shows all the time. How important is it for boxing fans to get involved in buying tickets?
Well, it's for small all and young fighters coming through, it's be all or end all, because it's career starters. You go to Terry Harper, who started on small halls, Anthony Tomlinson, Gavin McDonnell, all them fighters I've worked with, Jamie McDonnell, Robbie Barrett, they've all started at Doncaster Dome or wherever I've been, Barnsley Metrodome, and it's all about putting bums on seats. Terry's first fight on a debut sold 50 tickets at Donny Dome. 9 fights later, she sold 700.
It's crucial to her career, yeah?
Yeah, it's crucial, isn't it? Because, she's done £50,000, £60,000 in tickets. What do promoters want or need to do? they're going to be investing a lot of time and money into somebody that's entertaining and puts bums on seats. If you can't sell tickets, it's very hard. So it is crucial that people do get behind fighters and purchase tickets, especially on the small hall shows, because that's where they need the support.
Definitely is. Finally, I just want to talk to you about another fighter that you manage, which is Maxie Hughes. He's in a 4-rounder, I believe, on one of your shows.
A little fight at the Doncaster Dome on the 22nd of February, and we've got a big fight scheduled in Kazakhstan against an undefeated fighter for a WBC international title. And if I've got one fighter that I work for that deserves a big title fight, is Maxie Hughes. He's very hard working. He's actually never ever refused a fight since I've been managing that I've offered him. And same again, it's very hard for Maxie because he don't seem to get the support or the bums on seats, so he's been fighting away from home. But we've not done a bad job. He's had 2 British title fights while he's been with me. His WBO European title fight, now the WBC. If you can fight, you can fight. Opportunities come, and it's one of them opportunity knocks. Kazakhstan, he's ready to go.
I was saying to Maxie yesterday, I think everybody realises that from his last fight, his stock's risen from that fight, just from the performance.
Yeah, he put in a great performance. Liam Walsh is a world-class fighter. He's been one of the best fighters in Britain over the last 10 years. He's a lovely man. And Maxie went there, just pulled up, got in the ring and put in a great performance and made a very competitive fight, maybe closer than some of the scorecards suggested. But yeah, done very well. And so I think Maxie will take a lot of confidence from that. And the Kazakhstan's no special fly, no Olympic gold medalist. I think it's a fight that Maxie can win, hence accepting terms and going over to Kazakhstan for opportunity.
Hopefully he walks away with the WBC International when he's over there. Fingers crossed. Finally, tell us about your next show, when it's on and where people can find tickets.
I have got my next show at the 22nd of February at Doncaster Dome. Maxie Hughes on that. 2 championship fights. 2 weeks later, I am at the Rotherham Magna Centre on 7th. You've got a young man from your area, Amin. And then we go over on the 20th of March to the Barnsley Metrodome, Lee Appleyard, Carl Youssef in a British title fight. So we've got a lot happening. It's good. All the fighters are on social media, so they're all doing tickets. I've got a page on Facebook, Stefy Bull Promotions page, and all my fights are on there, and you can come and support a boxer. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's been a pleasure speaking to you as always, Stefy. Hope to catch you soon, my friend. Take care. Thank you, Stefy.